where he was arrested on drug charges and eventually deported back to Mexico.
He's got an enormous amount of weapons, RPGs, 50 calibers weapons that basically has his own SWAT teams.
Hey, want to know some interesting facts about El Mencho and why nobody can catch him? So you've landed in the right place. In this video, we're going to discuss it. So without further delay, let us get started. The El Mencho. He has a $10 million bounty on his head. Hitler's bodies are occasionally dangling from bridges. Sometimes, dismembered torsos are just dumped on the sidewalk. The atrocity frequently bears a scratched calling card that reads CJNG. The holistic Nuevo Generation cartel enjoys communicating the growth of the cartel, which is especially alarming to those who've been involved. The Drug Enforcement Administration currently believes that the CJNG is the source of tons of meth and fentanyl entering the United States each month due to its brazen and vicious nature. According to Bill Bodner, the special agent in charge of the DEA's Los Angeles Field Division, who supervises a group of agents specifically tasked with tracking down the cartel's leader, still that man, Nemesio Rubén Oseguera Cervantes, also known as El Mencho, has so far managed to avoid federal officials in the United States. After the notorious El Chapo Guzman, who headed the rival Sinaloa cartel, was apprehended in 2016. According to American and Mexican law enforcement officials speaking to NBC News, the CJNG's head has filled the void. The CJNG has swooped in, these sources claim, and is now thought to be the deadliest cartel in Mexico. The Zetas were once greatly feared, but they met their match according to Bodner. So what's kept El Mencho roaming free for so long? Is it impunity? Why has no one been able to apprehend El Mencho? Grab a cup of tea and a snack if you like and stick with us through to the end to learn more about this along with his violent rise. If you like this video, please do subscribe and like to never miss another upload. Number 2. In search of a ghost. Even though the CJNG has only been active for about 10 years, it's already surpassed the rival Sinaloa cartel in strength, and today it affects 28 of Mexico's 32 states, as well as 6 continents. The DEA has offered a $10 million reward for information that leads to El Mencho's capture, but investigators have turned up nothing so far. Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Atlanta, and New York are among the main American cities that are impacted by the pharmaceuticals manufactured by the CJNG. Agents of the DEA claim El Mencho has been charged in a US federal court with drug trafficking, corruption, and murder. It's been difficult to follow his movements, though at one point the DEA believed he might be hiding in the mountains. In many ways, he's been a ghost. A source claimed the cartel boss was detained in the United States in the 1980s for drug sales. He was born in the small Mexican town of Naranjo de Chile in 1966 and briefly lived there before returning to Guadalajara. He eventually discovered the Milenio cartel, which is a division of the Sinaloa cartel, and began working there. As he rose through the ranks, he broke away to form his group. Number 3. Why is he so hard to find? Bloodshed increased after El Chapo was captured in 2016. The mysterious past of El Mencho doesn't disclose much, save possibly why he's been so difficult to track down. El Mencho appears to be far more disciplined than Chapa, who was the Bonder's head and favored a lifestyle filled with expensive automobiles, ladies, fine dining, and booze. One of El Mencho's few known vices is his rumored love of cockfighting, which has given him another moniker. El Mencho is pleased to stay away from that stuff, work out, eat healthy, and stay off the radar. Family ties in the Lord of the Roosters, Ruben Gonzalez Oseguera, 2015, saw the arrest and confinement of El Mencho's American-born son at a maximum security facility. Reportedly engaged in drug and firearm trafficking in Mexico and extradited to the United States in 2002. Gonzalez's counsel allegedly accused a DEA agent of paying off a local magistrate to step in and speed up the process, a claim that the agency vehemently denies. According to the Mexican newspaper El Universal, they're trying to slow down the agent on this case. Bonda said this is a tactic by a defense attorney trying to slow down an investigation into a cartel that's trying to put up roadblocks to stop us from extraditing a person, who, by the way, is a citizen of the United States. The DEA and cartel conflict in Guadalajara has lasted for decades. It was recently highlighted in the Netflix series Narcos Mexico, which described the 1985 kidnapping and murder of agent Enrique Kiki Camarena. Other than this, members of his family, including his brother and the rest of the family, have maintained close ties to the criminal underworld. El Mencho has 5 brothers: Miguel, Abraham, Juan, Miguel, Antonio, and Mane. Abraham received a 10-year sentence in California in the 1990s, and Mexican police charged him with murder in Michoacan in 2013. The case was closed after the charges were ultimately dropped. After doing time for acts such as property destruction, Martin was accused in a California court, but the charges' specifics are confidential. American national Antonio was freed from a Mississippi prison in 2001. The Mexican Army and Navy captured him on December 4, 2015 in Jalisco. At the time, he was one of Elemento's most important financial agents. The CJNG is allegedly connected to Juan and Miguel. According to the Mexican authorities, Juan was initially charged with breaking into Michoacan, but the charge was later removed. Rosalinda Gonzalez Valencia is the spouse of El Mencho. They have 3 kids: Rubén Oseguera Gonzalez, Rubén Johanna Leisha, and Jessica Johanna Leisha. Originally detained on May 1, 2015, Elias El Mencho Julio Alberto Castillo Rodriguez, also known as El Ojo de Vidro, was arrested. When Jessica Johanna and his wife were arrested in 2014, Rubén Elemento's son was identified by the Mexican government as the CJNG's second-in-command. He was released from custody on July 1st because of a lack of proof. But on April 6, 2016, he was arrested again for his involvement in this CJNG. Since 2020, when the United States arrested Jessica Johanna and extradited Rubén Oseguera from Washington, the family structure of El Mencho has changed. The man could clearly remember the last time he'd spoken to his son, despite the darkness that covered his face. It had been almost a year ago. The sorrow of a parent who knows their child has been murdered but can't find the body has lasted for almost 400 days. He admitted in an interview that he didn't think humans could do this. The war is still going on. He asked that his name or face not be used for security reasons, which is a common request in such situations, where the government recently stated that over 61,000 people had disappeared as a result of the ongoing drug war, and where 2019, with over 31,000 homicides, was the worst year on record. His family possessed a property in rural Mexico that had been passed down through the years, but he was a doctor who also worked there until hundreds of cartel members allegedly hijacked it to create meth. He claimed he stated the authorities can't manage them. Social media has been used by the CJNG to post horrific images of beheadings and executions, and that's seriously disgusting and terrifying to watch. The cartel begins grooming potential recruits when they're still in their early teens and gives them access to drugs, according to a former Mexican intelligence official, who also claims that other posts include videos that serve as recruitment tools for new members and business cards for CJNG with recognizable logos, as brands like Louis Vuitton are widely available. Some cartel members operate in select neighborhoods using Robin Hood-style tactics. When young men are hired to deliver food and other goods to disadvantaged communities, they are immediately tortured and blackmailed into becoming cartel killers or cesarean surgeons. If you're enjoying the video so far, please do like and subscribe to never miss another video. Number 4. Violence or impunity. One of the things that makes Elemento successful is his commitment. To avoid the stupid mistakes that other cartel bosses have made, he abstains from drugs and alcohol. He works out every day to stay in shape for hunting down fugitives, which allowed him to escape capture by running for days over untamed terrain. He also stays in remote compounds that are difficult for authorities to access, so he's rarely seen. He enjoys riding horses and racing motorcycles on ranches, where he encounters terror and devotion, involving brutal acts of brutality like cannibalism and acid baths. His cartel members broadcast a lot of these terrible tragedies on social media, including Facebook and Twitter threats, YouTube footage of torture and executions, and even Pinterest images of dead victims hanging from bridges. CJNG is known for surrounding himself with individuals who have given their lives for him at least 3 times. He specializes in eliminating corrupt law enforcement and government officials. For years, he's moved around to evade the manhunt that began soon after he came to power in 2011. Law enforcement agencies from Mexico and the United States cooperate to uncover El Mencho's hiding places in 2012 and 2018. Police searched his secret homes in rural Jalisco, but he always managed to flee. In the course of the 2012 operation, 4 cartel members allegedly were killed, and El Mencho and his son Mencho fled into the highlands. He's most likely concealed in the mountains or a jungle canopy in rural Jalisco, Colima, or in his home, Mazatlán, where he is said to be hiding. Some people think the military does not want to capture him because he runs their pockets through corruption. Do you agree? Please let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up. It will help us to better understand our audience and enable YouTube to suggest some of the videos to you. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one.